Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth in the series of the DLD webinars. In previous weeks, we've had webinars introducing the college and how to apply. We had a webinar on academic choices. The third in the series was on scholarships, and last week we had our lower school webinar. Those are all accessible on YouTube. Please do have a watch. But tonight, we are talking about boarding at DLD College. And we have our Vice Principal for Boarding giving a short presentation, and then we'll take some of your questions. Alongside Nicola Borland, one of our house parents, along with some of our students. So we're in for a real treat tonight. We do have some other webinars coming up in future weeks. So next week, next Thursday, we'll be talking about wellbeing and opportunities at DLD. And then the following week is a Meet the Students session where you get to find out about real life for the students at DLD College. And the final webinar / open evening that we have of the year is on the 1st of December. And that's our sixth form open evening, which will be focusing a little bit more on the academic side of what DLD can offer. And that will have our heads of faculties on as well. So hopefully we'll see you at those webinars as well. But let's focus on the boarding for this evening. And before I hand over to James Kidd, our Vice Principal for Boarding, Irfan Latif, our Principal, would like to say a few words. So over to you, Irfan.
Okay, is the video on? Here we go. Right, welcome to DLD College, everyone, and the fifth, as Ben said, in our series of webinars explaining the various aspects of this award-winning school. These are challenging times, but like the virus, we've mutated into something stronger. Our powerful ethos and our core values of tolerance, respect, and kindness have strengthened our community during this unprecedented time in our history. A family looking out for one another and caring for each other. That's what makes our school so special. Those strong and powerful relationships that we nurture and foster here makes for a very happy, supportive and friendly environment. I'm so privileged to be part and principal of this innovative and caring school. As a Good Schools Guide recently said, DLD is a friendly, relaxed place with excellent pastoral care, attentive teaching, and high aspirations for all. A wide range of qualifications and high-quality on-site boarding facilities make DLD stand out against the competition. So, if your son or daughter decides to come to DLD, they can expect high-quality teaching and learning, excellent pastoral care, a range of co-curricular activities to nourish the mind, the body, the soul, and a compelling ethos of well-being, which is at the heart of our school, where your son or daughter is at the centre of everything we do. Our sector-leading work in well-being was nominated for the prestigious Independent School of the Year Award in 2020, and we were also shortlisted for the TEST Boarding School of the Year 2020. Last month, we were awarded the Special Judges Award for Independent School of the Year and Boarding School of the Year. And to have won these much coveted awards during this difficult time for us all speaks volumes about the staff and students here at DLD. And it's our staff that are the key ingredient in what makes DLD so special. So much so, we've been awarded the London Healthy Workplace Charter for our work on staff well-being. We've come a long way in a short space of time, and we look to continue to be caring, but innovative, and lead the way in teaching and learning, well-being, and boarding. It's an exciting time for the college and an exciting time for you to join us. And I only hope that your sons and daughters seize the various opportunities on offer from music, sport, art and drama, so that they are ready for the challenges that lie beyond our college doors. As we look to grow DLD even further and become an outstanding school, just like our ISI inspection last year, with all the exciting innovations from the Wellbeing Centre, our new Wellbeing Garden, our new sports pitch, to our urban boarding philosophy. I want us to remember the three pioneers who founded the college back in 1931 and who the college is named after. Messrs. Davis, Lang and Dick, DLD. It's important we respect and continue their strong legacy and reputation long into the future, as they now become part of our new vision: development, leadership and diversity. And I want you, yes you, to be part of that vision. I look forward to developing your sons and daughters to become the next generation of leaders in a challenging and diverse world. Thank you for joining us at this webinar. I'll hand you over now to James.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is James Kidd and I'm Vice Principal Boarding here at DLD College. I'm also quite new. I've only been here since August. So for those of you sitting here wondering what it's like going to new school, everything I'm going to talk about this evening, I've experienced myself this term in the last 10 weeks. Okay, so I know what it's like to be new. I know what it's like to be in the middle of a new environment, particularly during uncertain times. So hopefully we can answer some of those questions and make sure that you recognise this is a home that you can feel comfortable and ready to be in. I'm going to share a presentation with you this evening. Hopefully that will go through many of the questions, but we'll also have time for questions at the end. So I'll just bring up the presentation for us now. So hopefully you are seeing this. Okay, so welcome home. This is home to 150 to 200 boarders at the current time. We've got a space for 250 in total, and we're looking forward to adding more people coming into September. As you can see from the bottom left, our home really is in the centre of London. We're right in the heart of it. We are on Westminster Bridge Road. It's opposite the Houses of Parliament, and we're in the shadow of the London Eye. You can see there a few of our other spaces, which we'll come on to shortly. This evening, we're going to talk about three focuses. The award-winning pastoral care, our boarding school of the year, was given to us for student experience. Secondly, in terms of defining the concept of modern urban boarding facilities in a prime location, the heart of the most exciting city in the world, London. And then support structures, looking at the whole person, getting the well-being, sleep, mental health right, so that the studies and that full potential can be really fully realised. So on to the pastoral care. Quote here, the house parents are like a second family to me. That's how we see ourselves here in the boarding. In terms of this, we are full of dedicated house parents. Nicola will join us later on, Deputy Head of Boarding, and also 4 other house parents are supported by a team of assistants and boarding assistants who will actually come in and get involved fully in the life of your son, daughter, or if you're a student watching this, yourself. Our house parents don't teach, which allows them to focus fully on pastoral care. They're residential, they're vastly experienced, and they're highly qualified in delivering both pastoral care and life coaching. Because they don't teach, that gives them the time to spend time getting to know the students and giving that proactive pastoral care, but also to stay in touch with you, the parents, so that you have a direct contact and someone you can always turn to know exactly what's going on, even if your son or daughter is in a different place, different county, or even different country. In terms of our second pillar, the first-class facilities and location, we'll see a bit more of that later on. We've got some students with Nicola in one of our common rooms, and I'm here in one of the boarders' bedrooms, so you can see what it looks like. Each house parent runs a huddle, so we have one big boarding house, 250 beds, all in one space. But to make sure we have that sense of smaller community within a community, we have 5 huddles. The huddle-based system is based on gender and age. So boys are separate from girls, and the younger boarders have a different community to the older ones in terms of the bedroom space, but they can mix downstairs. More on that later. In each flat, They have a kitchen, what we call a common room. They have their bedrooms, and that social space is really important. The huddles come together for charity work, for activities, and for trips, and it gives them a sense of identity. So we've got each huddle having its own logo, identified by the huddle house parent, and it gives them that sense of competitive rivalry, but also that sense of being. Further on, we have the Atrium, which is a downstairs space, the global kitchen, where the boarders will go for their food, access to study areas, and also the music practice rooms. One of the massive benefits of living in boarding is that actually all the facilities open through the day are available at weekends and evenings also. And of an evening, of a weekend, you'll find plenty of the students out and about in the study areas and out and about doing the music practice. Beyond our four walls, of course, you can see there in the picture of Big Ben, we are right in the middle of London and city life. Within 30 minutes, you can walk to most of the major places, such as the museums and exhibitions. Also, because of our transport access, you can get to the likes of Oxford and Portsmouth, visit shopping centres, historic places, and also the best universities in England. Finally, we get the idea for those of you who are students listening that you want independence, you want freedom to live. But parents listening, we know you care about the safety measures in place. Please believe safety and security is our #1 priority. We have a signing out system that all of the students use, which enable the house parents to see where everyone is and to be in touch with them quickly and whenever they need to be. It tracks the students in a friendly way, and they sign out to us, they give us a call, we always know where they are. House parents are available 24/7, and there's also lots of other ways that you can get in touch other than just the phone. More on that later. Also, it's important for us that we know that we have leadership, community involvement, and the ability to put those into place, given that London's on our doorstep and that we actually are in a fantastic location to be able to give back. In terms of those opportunities for leadership, within each huddle, there's a head and deputy head of huddle. There are mentors, there is a lower school house captains, and there is also school council. Student voice is praised in our award win to the fact that the student involvement and the student initiative is very important to us here, and you can see the reflection of that by the actual work that is done. Hopefully you'll come and visit us at some point and you would see everything that's been put in place and the ideas that the student council have pushed through from start to completion. Secondly, charity is a really important aspect for us. In terms of that, we will find that whether it's the food banks, whether that's supporting at local schools, whether that's going to the hospitals, giving up time to do a charity run or to help out, virtual charity obviously this year, we want to importantly give that sense of we want to help. In terms of support for ourselves, we know that we need to be at our best to deliver the results in the classroom. We offer that wraparound care. We recognise that we're here to make successful 25-year-olds, not just a sheet of paper with grades on it. The Wellbeing Centre is in the heart of the school. It encompasses all areas and is made up of a team of professionals, from counsellors through to guidance, through to university. Mental health is obviously a pressing situation. We need to get this right. As part of that, we have been looking up to 40 students and 60 members of staff trained in mental health first aid, which means that we can deal with issues before they become bigger, which means that students have much more chance of being able to be successful in their studies because they can focus on them. In terms of sleep, we are pioneering in the UK through the Sleep Charities work, the in-school provision for sleep, looking at how people sleep, how they can get better, and having student leaders and ambassadors for that too. Nutrition is also an important part, and nutrition workshops as part of other wellbeing workshops take place. Eating well for success now, but also for later life. All of these elements coming together led to us becoming the UK Boarding School of the Year this year. As I'm sure you can see, there are many, many parts to that. We keep striving forwards, but we're very proud of what we offer so far. That's it for the presentation. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Thank you very much, James. That was wonderful. So if you do have any questions, we've got the chat function at the bottom. Please send any questions that you may have. We do have some pre-event questions as well. But before we go ahead, it'd be great if Nicola could introduce herself, and if the students could introduce themselves as well, and then we'll crack on with the questions.
Hello, I'm Nicola. I'm Deputy Head of Boarding. So I look at the day-to-day running of boarding, and I also have the huddle for the senior girls, some of which are here with us. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Barbara. I study BTech Business here at Atrium.
I'm Brenda, and I do A-levels.
And I'm Lorenz, and I take A-levels as well.
Okay. So we're lucky to have the three of them here with us tonight. Obviously, this is a girls' huddle, so we've got a treat having Lorenzo here with us. Normally, he wouldn't be allowed in this space, but just thought we'd mix it up tonight.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for taking your time out of your evenings, guys. It's really appreciated, and I know that the attendees really appreciate that as well. Again, to the attendees, we are humbled you're taking time out of your evening this evening to be with us. So please do take this opportunity to ask any questions. In the meantime, we did have some pre-event questions that were sent through. So I will crack on with some of those. So firstly, are international students prioritised for boarding places? James, would you like to comment on that one?
So in terms of the mix of students, we've got both domestic and international. We've got 250 beds in the building. So as soon as people apply, we look to allocate them. They have a choice of 3-bed settings, which more detail can be found from the admissions department. But I think it's more about getting in early to make sure you get what you want, rather than worrying about prioritisation too much. So I would always suggest booking early to make sure you get the bed set up that you would like to have.
Great, thank you very much, James. We've got another question here, and maybe this is a good question for the students. So do most students do their homework in their room or in the college?
I've been here for 1.5 years already, and I'm doing A-levels year 13, and I have many friends that like me to do A-levels, maybe different subjects as well. But I'd say that even though there's a majority of students that study in their rooms just by themselves, there are a lot of students that study downstairs or in first floor in the study areas with other students if they need help maybe, or just for being together, I'd say. But I'd say mostly in the rooms, but many other students study downstairs as well.
If I just jump in, so our lower school students, so that's years 9, 10, 11, they will do studies supervised by a member of academic staff Monday to Thursday, so they will be downstairs. And as you get older, as Lorenzo says, you have a choice. You can work at your desk in your bedroom, although some of them will actually choose to work in the study areas, perhaps if you want to work with another student, or if it just gives you that sense of routine. But it's quite nice to have that option.
Great, thank you very much. And again, another question for the students. So what do students do in the evenings apart from study really hard?
We also do co-curriculars. Some of us, we have clubs and societies after school. Yeah, but mostly just do homework, then dinner, and just have a break after school.
There's also usually a lot of activities in the atrium. Like we have sport, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like the house parents provide us, and DLD College provide us with a lot of means to have fun. For example, the ping pong table or the pool table, PS4. But of course, people in the evenings, if they are in college, are gonna play or chat and stay together and spend time. Or otherwise, they'll go outside for a walk or something.
Okay, great. And that leads perfectly on to another question from a question that we've received just now. Are students allowed out on weekdays?
Nicola, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so all students have a curfew depending on their age. So students need to be back by curfew. They need to sign out to reach, which, as James said, is our system for ensuring we know where students are. As long as their academic commitments have been fulfilled, as long as they've not got homework outstanding, that they've finished their study time, then students can go out. It depends on their age group. If it's a lower school student, they will need to go out with other members of boarding. But if it's one of these guys, they can go out as long as we know where they are and they're back by their curfew and plenty of time to come to huddle registration in the evenings.
Great. Another question that's come in, is the internet good in boarding? Is it good, strong, fast internet?
It's very good. We are in the center of London, so yeah, it's very good.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, and let's have a look what else we have here. So this is a good question. So we've got a good mix of day students and boarders. The question is, do the boarding students mix with day students much?
Of course, like during like till 5 in the afternoon, the students are in for the lessons, etc. So we are usually mixed with them in the atrium or the canteen. But and the students can stay in school till a certain hour as well if they want to spend time with us boarders. But the answer to the question, I'd say, is yes. We do mix, and that helps for like us international students to have time, enough time and enough British friends to speak in English. Because, you know, sometimes in an international school, people may think, I don't want to send my kid there because he's just going to speak Italian with some. I'd say it's not like this, because there are many people from many different nationalities, so we're always speaking English. And the students help with that because, of course, their English is better than ours because they grew up in London or England.
Yeah, but the day students aren't allowed like into the boarding house and into our room.
Of course.
Okay, great, thank you. Very important question that I would be asking. What time is breakfast and dinner?
So breakfast starts at 7:15 and goes on till 8:30. Dinner is 6 till 7, and then lunch, you get on your timetable, you get an allocated lunch section to make sure that you've got plenty of time to have food. Yeah, is that everything on here? That's right. Yeah.
Oh, brunch.
Oh yes, the weekends we have brunch. So the weekends we appreciate that people want a little bit of time to sleep in the mornings. So if you are an early riser, there's a little breakfast on in the morning. So there's toast and cereals and pastries and things. But from 10 till 1, 10 till 2, we have a brunch, which is a bit more of a treat at the weekends. So something to look forward to.
Excellent, thank you. And another question. So, Nicola, do you live in the boarding?
Yeah, so me, along with all of the residential house parents, live in. So there's 6 of us in total. James lives in, myself and 4 house parents, and one of our residential assistant house parents all live in. So we're here 24 hours a day. We're here the whole time. This is our house. We don't have another residence that we flit off to in the week. This is our home as well as the student home. So we like to think of it as one big family in the end.
Okay, great. And I heard there is a gym and swimming pool. How often can I use it?
So it's a membership.
Sorry, James.
That's right. It's a membership set up, so it's part of the building facility. So once you've got your membership signed up, and you can then obviously use it within the opening times of the facilities, obviously as long as you're not missing lessons, and obviously as long as you're not late for curfew.
Excellent, thank you, James. And just to point out that it's only for students of 16 and up for the gym and the swimming pool?
Yeah. So for the safeguarding side of things, that is in place. There are other public places that we might go to if they were for younger students, and part of our program of CCAs and sport, the lower school have timetable sport sessions led by Sean Gallagher, our head of sport, and that would ensure that all ages can have access at certain times. But to be a member of the one here, you would need to be 16 or over.
Great, thank you. We've had another question from Kaths. Thank you for the question, Kaths. And we have touched on homework, but another question that's come in is, do you do homework alone in your room or with teachers? Is there any time where you work with the teachers on your homework?
So, Lorenzo,
I'd say the teachers are always there for us till 5, of course, when they're in school. And if we need something, we can go at any time. Of course, if they're not teaching at the moment, to ask anything to them, if we need help or whatever. So yeah, I'd say that the teachers are always there for us, definitely. And we have adults as well who can help us, and our PT. So there's always someone who can help us.
As an extension of that, there's teachers that run the study time, which takes place Monday to Thursday, but they're around to help. And also a number of us are able to help beyond that. So Lorenzo and I had a good discussion about his history essay recently. Nicola could help with the psychology. One of our other teachers, Miles, could help with drama and English. And so they're able to get access to ourselves. Always happy to give that assistance.
Thank you very much, everyone. Another question from Neeti. Thank you, Neeti. Can a relative under 25, and then in brackets 23, be a guardian? That's probably a question for you, James.
We would expect the guardian to be 25 or over, just so obviously for an age and safeguarding side of things, we would expect then just sort of some paperwork to be filled in. So they should be 25 or over for us.
Okay, great. Maybe a question for Nicola here. Can I send gifts to my son?
Yes, of course. The address is in the boarder's handbook. It's on all the notice books and it's in the student's room. So they'll be able to tell you what their address is. But of course, if you get in touch with us, we'll let you know what the address is. You can send post, letters, parcels, gifts, anything you like. If it's a special occasion, if it's a birthday, if it's a secret, send it to us and we can make sure that they get it on the day. But yeah, you guys get post. I mean, it's a huge process. They get lots and lots of post. We have a special post sort of table where it all gets put and students receive a message from us to say, come and get their post. So it's quite a simple process, but of course, send as many presents as you like.
Thank you. A couple of questions that I'm going to address. So one of the questions is, how does Brexit affect international students? It hasn't affected our international students at this stage. We have 56 different nationalities at the college at the moment, and we haven't seen any effect with any new students coming through for next year. So students are signing up now and filling some of the boarding space that we have in the college. So it hasn't affected us. I think with students that are, they will have to apply for a different type of visa, and there's a different process of application. But in terms of the numbers of students that are coming through, there has been no effect. And then there's another question which I will just answer around scholarships. So does your school offer scholarships? We do. Scholarships are based on tuition only and not for the tuition, for the accommodation fees. Okay. Okay, and there's a couple more questions. What is there to do nearby? And maybe that's a good one for the students.
What is there to do nearby? So let's pretend we're not in lockdown, we're not in COVID. What is there to do nearby?
We have parks, Archbishop's Park, which has tennis court, and as well as football. Yeah.
Then of course there's Lower Marsh, just 5 minutes away by walk, and you find any shop you need, any restaurant, any coffee shop, etc. There's plenty of supermarkets around: Tesco, Sainsbury's, Co-op, M&S. Then we live by the River Thames in front of the London, in front of the Big Ben, and the London Eye, of course. And there's plenty of there's an aquarium. Then there's plenty of special shops and museums in the river. So we can literally do anything we can think about, cinemas, wherever we want.
And of course, being in central London, we've got buses, tubes. So if there is something even in central London or a little bit further away, that's also nearby, because it's only going to take 10, 15 minutes to get there. So, but we've got so much on our doorstep anyway.
Yeah, we don't really need to go too far, actually.
Yeah.
Great. And followed up with that question, I would assume this is a parent question because we get asked this a lot. Is it safe outside the college?
Yeah.
Anytime there's any kind of problem around the parents are going to inform us, but there's the safeguarding and search that looks always after us, so our parents always know where we are, and overall there's never been an issue for me and or my friends here in London, so I think it's as secure as any other place. Depends of course on how much attention the person pays to everything. Of course, the rules are there. Our parents take care of us, and we all feel safe. So I'll answer yes, of course.
And Ben, if I just jump in, so we have a system called Reach, which is a program software which is tracking the students' locations. So the guys have an ID card, and as they're going around, they have to tap in and out on Reach, where they're going to, when they come back into the boarding house, and so on. If they were going off for a weekend's leave with their guardian, we would have all the paperwork in, and that would give us an idea what time they're coming back, so we know what time to expect them to. And they always go out, as Nicola said earlier, if they're younger, in small groups run by themselves, to make sure they've got someone with them to keep an eye and to help them out if they do come into any issues. But so far, so good, and hopefully that will stay that way.
Great, thank you very much, everyone. Are there any more questions from the attendees? Because I do have one more question, but I feel like it should be the last question that's asked. So if you have any further questions, please type now. I'll give you a few seconds to ask. Okay. So one final question then, and I think this is for everyone to answer individually. What is the best thing about boarding? James, would you like to start?
Okay, I think the best thing about boarding at DLD is it's got a fantastic location with some really good people involved, whether that's staff or students. Lorenzo and I had a conversation for half an hour yesterday, Lorenzo, and it's a great time to do that in the evening. You can really be sort of down and actually rested and having conversations. Very lucky to be supported by fantastic staff who care a lot about the students. As Nicola says, they are really here 24/7. And that does show in the care and the relationships. Nicola there has Brenda and Barbara in her huddle. They get on very well because they spend a lot of time together. It makes my life incredibly easy having that team to fall upon, but also the students on the whole do a very good job of keeping my life easy too. So thank you both of groups there.
Can I jump on next? So I'd say that at the moment I'm 17, and last year was my first time away from home. And the thing that I love about boarding is that even though I'm far away from home, so I'm far away from my parents, etc., and therefore I'm living alone. At the same time, I'm growing up, because in a way I'm living alone, but at the same time it's not as like living in an apartment alone. I'm living with many other people that take care of me, house parents, James, and teachers, etc., that can help me whenever I need help. In a way, we have food. We have our canteen, which provides us food always, and anytime I need help, everyone is ready to give me what I need. So even though I'm living away from home and I'm living alone, at the same time I feel as if I wasn't. That's the thing I like the most about boarding.
What are your favourite things?
For me, I feel like the best thing about boarding house is the ability to create your own kind of new friendship group that you will take with you into life then. Because as for me, it's my third year in DLD College London. And I found myself really good friends, some of them already in universities and everything. So I just feel more confident in my future in life that I got people around me who love and support me.
Yeah, I think DLD has an amazing community, from the house parents to the students. You get to meet some incredible people from all over the world and make some great friendships. Yeah.
My favourite thing about boarding at DLD is the students, hand down. It's them that make up our community. It's them that we are here to support and help, as Lorenzo says. And they're genuinely a great bunch of students. Every year we sort of think, there's a really good bunch of students, and it's just lovely working with them. And as James says, we just work within boarding, so we're here for the students 24 hours a day, and I think that makes a special kind of bond. So that's my favourite thing about boarding.
Brilliant, thank you very much. While you were talking, we did have another couple of questions come through. So the first question, again, I think for you guys, is there any dress code at the college? Do you have a uniform that you wear?
No,
we
not
don't.
particularly, just appropriate something. Yeah.
Of course, we have to dress appropriately. We can't come downstairs in pajamas or something. But there's no dress code.
Excellent.
You don't have, it's just, it's like really casual.
Yeah, so there is a dress code in terms of appropriateness, as Lorenzo says, but not a sort of school uniform or something that you have to wear.
Thank you. And then another question around the sports that we have at the college. What sport do we offer at DLD? And are any of you involved in any of the sports?
Yes, I play basketball, but there's plenty of sports we are able to play at DLD. Like, for example, starts from boxing along with football, and it comes to netball or basketball.
Excellent, thank you. And just on the co-curricular, we did have a webinar last week, which focused a little bit on the co-curricular activities as well as the lower school. So to find out a little bit more, please do watch, and of course you can contact us if you need more information on that as well. Okay, so if there's no more questions this evening, that wraps up our boarding webinar. So thank you very much for everyone who's attended this evening. We will be in touch following the event this evening. Thank you very much for the participants as well, our panelists. And again, we have further events coming up over the next coming weeks. Next week, on next Thursday, is our Wellbeing and Opportunities webinar. So we hope that we see some of you there again soon. And everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.